Tal Kadosh, Boker Or Bekiim Bahalacha 2, day 38, Siman 3. Right? Which direction to face when a person is going to the washroom? If someone needs to defecate outdoors, where he is not enclosed by any walls, he should position himself to face either north or south, but not east or west. Our sages taught that the Shekhinah is positioned in the west of the world, and the west is the seat of the holiness. It would be disrespectful to defecate to the west. Even if someone faces the west and defecates to the east, it's likewise disrespectful, since his perspective to the east corresponds to the west, meaning that it's the earth is a globe, so that's why. Fine. When in a restroom, it does not matter, right? Why? Because it doesn't matter because you're enclosed by walls. So one may sit facing east or west, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're facing. Okay. It is also permissible to urinate while facing in a direction, even in the east or west, or even outdoors. A married couple may set up their beds in any direction as well. That's to do with the beds, because the same thing. It was once upon a time. Yeah, there's machlok. It's whichever way you want, you could do it. Says number 121 in the footnote. The source for this leniency is the Tosafot, and Rabbeinu Asher the Rosh. The Rambam made no distinction between outdoors and indoors if it's enclosed. However, even so, Maran and Bet Yosef said that on the plain understanding of the Talmud and the Tosafot explained that this is a ruling of Shulchan Aruch. Zalman and the Ben Ish Chai and the Kaf HaChaim Sofer noted that there's an opinion that it is forbidden to face east or west, even in a walled structure, and they recommended being stringent. Well, Zalman added that when it's constructing a restroom, it should be done in a way that enables people to use it facing north or south. Ben Ish Chai testified that this was the common practice in Baghdad as well. The Lachabra, however, ruled leniently, like the Shulchan Aruch, that in a walled structure, you could do it in any direction. Meaning that even though the Ben Ish Chai was saying that the common practice was to be stringent, you could do it in anything. Nevertheless, one should be aware of the stringent opinion, right? When constructing a house, it's best to plan for the toilet seat to be positioned north or south. Okay? Fine. Next, walls far apart, right, from one another. Okay? So, he comes and he says this. Rav Yitzchak Avuhav ruled that if someone defecates in a walled yard and the walls are far from another, one must not face east or west, though the yard is surrounded by walls. The Bet Yosef ruled leniently in this case. The Taz agree with Rabbi Avuhav, while the Magen Avraham concur with Maran. The Lachabra also ruled leniently. Meaning like this. At the end of the day, you have walls. Yeah, but it's not an enclosed area. It's a huge area, but you just have a fence around. So he says that's a machloke between them. What about inside a walled city? Magen Avraham added that although Maran ruled leniently regarding a walled-in yard, he agreed that one may be stringent when defecating outside inside a walled city. The Neve Shalom, however, interpreted Maran's opinion to be that one must be careful about one's position, right? Only when defecating in an open field. But in a walled city, it does not matter. The Lachabran ruled stringently in this matter, since the Pri Megadim demonstrated that the correct interpretation of Maran's words in the Bet Yosef, as the Magen Avraham stated, where there is only one wall. If someone is outdoors in a place where there is one wall to the west, but no other walls in other directions, it is permissible to defecate facing east or west. This is the ruling of Maran and the Bet Yosef. Rav Zalman and the Ben Ish Chai ruled that if there is one wall to the east, one may defecate with one's back to the wall. See the Lachabura. Okay? That means basically you could do it with the back to the wall. Fine. What about now in the Talmudic area? This area we're talking about now about the beds, about a married couple on the beds. So it says like this. The Talmud teaches that Rabbi Binyamin said, all my life I was careful with two things. One was that my bed should be positioned between north and south. And this is based upon the teaching of Rabbi Chama bar Chanina in the name of Rabbi Yitzchak. Anyone who positions his bed north and south will be rewarded with male children. Here you have another one. Yeah, if you put it between north and south. So you have male children. Okay? The disciples of Rabbi Binyamin now, however, explain that the reason for positioning is the menorah was placed in the south of the Bet HaMikdash, and the shulchan, which is the money, was in the north. By positioning the beds between north and south, the parents enhance their prayers that their children will succeed in Torah studies and that they will be wealthy. Right? One might think that according to this, it is best positioned to the head of the bed, right, to the south, since Torah is important, right, than material wealth. But the Olet Sion explained that it does not matter whether the bed's head raised so the north or south, doesn't matter, even according to Rabbi Binyamin. The Rambam wrote it is forbidden to ever defecate or sleep in a position between east and west. Maran and Bet Yosef asked that it seems just the opposite from the Talmud. That it's forbidden to position the bed between east and west, even according to Rabbi Chanina, is at least a preferable position between north and south, so one will be granted male children. Maran offered two answers to the question. Maran added that according to the Rambam, one must position one's bed between north and south, even when sleeping alone. But according to Tosfot, the supply is only when sleeping as a couple. Maran concluded that he noticed that most people follow Tosfot's opinion but that that is because very few people bother to study the Rambam. He strongly recommended following the Rambam's opinion since this is a pillar of halacha. The Shulchan Aruch Baran wrote it's forbidden to sleep with one's wife between east and west. The correct choice is to avoid even when sleeping alone. Again, in Siman 240, he wrote the same thing. The bed upon which a married couple sleeps must be positioned with its head and foot to the north and the south. According to Kabbalah, the Holy Zohar HaKadosh states that the head of one's bed must be positioned to the east and to the foot to the west. The Kabbalists adopted this ruling, although it is the opposite that of Rashi. The response to Shelat Yavet cited by the Rav Chida claimed that Rashi retracted his ruling in favor of the Zohar. By the Kavachim Sofer likewise instructed us to follow the opinion of the Arizal HaKadosh to place the bed's head to the east and its foot to the west. The Eliyahu of Vilna, and the response of Binyan Shel Shlomo, however, interpreted the Zohar to agree with the Talmud. Nevertheless, Arizal understood that the Zohar disagrees with the Talmud. In fact, the Orlet Sion suggested that Talmud can be interpreted in a way that agrees with the Zohar HaKadosh. So both the Gemara and the Zohar mean that the bed's head must be placed to the east and its foot to the west. This is just the opposite of the position of the Gaon Vilna. Meaning the Gaon Vilna said there's no machlok between them. But here there's a whole question, is there a machlok between the Kabbalah and the Halacha? In practice, so then what do we do then? Because look how many different opinions we have. So the Shirei Keres Gedolah testified that in our times no one pays attention to this Halacha, since the Zohar states one opinion and the Gemara says the exact opposite. So whatever one does is correct, according to one opinion, and the other one is incorrect. Therefore, each person acts as he pleases in this matter. Aruch HaShulchan also writes the same thing. Because many opinions regarding the halacha, everyone could do whatever is convenient for them. There's likewise of Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. I need that there are poskim who rule that this halacha applies only when sleeping outside, but not inside of a house. The Orlet Sion agree with this principle, but he recommended following the instructions of the Arizal HaKadosh if it's not going to be difficult. The Yalkut Yosef concur with this, but the Halacha Brura wrote simply that one may possession the bed in any direction, and he did not recommend following the Arizal HaKadosh. So that's why here, by the way, he didn't do like the Yalkut Yosef. He did like the Halacha Brura, which is basically you do whatever you want. Okay? What about within a hearing distance? Next halacha. Halacha number 10. If someone needs to defecate outside in the open, he must go to a place where passerbys will not see his nakedness. He does not have to go to a place where he cannot be seen at all, however. Let's see number 123. This is the ruling of Shulchan Aruch and the Ben Ish Chai. What about within a hearing distance? That means they could hear you. The Ben Ish Chai added that a person may simply go behind the fence or a wall and defecate there. Even though people on the other side might hear the sounds he's making while defecating, there is nothing indecent about that. It is not a breach of modesty to allow others to hear such sounds, although it might be embarrassing. Rav Zalman wrote that it is clear that Talmudic era people do not mind other people hearing them within themselves. See the response, Even Hachen. Halacha number 11. Oh, that's it. Have a wonderful day, everyone.